Hi guys, welcome back to the Getting Married Multiculturally podcast. I'm your host Edith, and today you are listening episode 56. Those of you who are watching the video recording of this episode, you'll see that I am wearing a huge headphone because that's how real podcasters do, right? Except that I am using my daughter's bright blue headphone that has her name on it on the top because I just got back from Europe and I can't find my tiny little Apple headphone that I like to use. So my luggage is still in the living room waiting for me to get unpacked, and I didn't even get ready. I didn't put any makeup on. So if you're watching this video, I made sure I put the camera really, really far away from myself so you don't see this face, this tired, jet-lagged face. But anyway, so I just wanted to sit down for an hour and chat a little bit with you guys because, first of all, because I missed 2 weeks unintentionally. I know that in my last episode, I promised you that I'm going to be talking about Valentine's Day, which didn't happen. And that is because I had this idea that I'm gonna put my microphone in my luggage, in my suitcase, and I'm gonna go to Europe and I'm gonna swear I'm gonna have 1 hour of peace and quiet when I can sit down and maybe in the backyard of my parents' house or some nice view that you guys can see where I am and record this episode. But that didn't happen. Those of you who doesn't know, my sister just had her first baby, a little boy, and she had a C-section, so she was in a hospital for 5 days. And when they finally came out, I surprised her in the hospital. She didn't know that I'm coming, so it was a huge surprise. We all cried and we were all really excited, and she just said, how is that even possible that you're here now? So it was amazing, and I took my little daughter with me, Sophia. So anyway, we went to Europe for that reason, to see the baby and surprise my sister, and so I can help her around with the baby and with her recovery. So as you can imagine, when you have a baby and things can just get crazy and unpredictable and you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know how much sleep you're going to get, what things you're going to need or go to. So as much as I wanted to have a relaxing 2 weeks with doing nothing but spending time with my family, it was pretty hectic at the end if I thinking it back now. So every time when I felt like I'm gonna sit down for an hour just to record something or work a little bit on my laptop, I always felt like I am taking my time away from my family, which I'm sure that you can totally relate to that, how hard it is when you go to see your family or when they come to visit you where you live, and you just feel like when you're away from them for working reasons, it's kind of like a waste of your time. So at the end, I was kind of upset that I didn't have time to record this episode. But anyway, that's just how it happened. And I'm just glad that everything was good at the end. So last week was Valentine's Day, and I previously already prepared my notes and I already knew the topic I want to talk about. I just didn't record it, so that's going to happen now. Because the reason I actually decided to record it even though the holiday is over, because this is going to be mostly about dating ideas and love language and how us in a multicultural relationship date each other in long distance relationships. So I think it's pretty relevant to any day or any time of the year. It doesn't have to be on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day was just a holiday that gave me the idea to talk about this topic. So for me, definitely Valentine's Day was something that's much bigger here in America than it was in Hungary. And I would say it was because not anymore. Now that I was in Hungary during Valentine's Day, I had to realize that it's just literally the same like in America. The stores are filled with chocolates and pink and red and flowers and hearts and everything that you can imagine, teddy bears. And restaurants are filled with couples, and not just couples, but like groups of people who go out for dinner. And I actually went out with my friend Aniko, who also said that they are not really big on celebrating this holiday. So it just happened that I was available on that evening, so we went out for dinner. But anyway, so that was my Valentine's Day. I also surprised my husband and my oldest daughter, who stayed home, with a little card and a little program, a little date that they went on, a father-daughter date, because I think that Valentine's Day for many people, it's not just about romance and romantic relationship and couples, but also just celebrating love with your family, with your friends, and with your other part of your family members, right? So it worked out good for all of us at the end. But yeah, surprisingly, a lot of people are celebrating Valentine's Day in Hungary, but also a lot of people don't want to celebrate it. A lot of people feel like just because it's Valentine's Day, that doesn't mean that that's the only day when you are thinking about your partner, or celebrating with your partner, or surprising them with something special. So regardless which side you are on or what you like to do, it doesn't matter, because at the end, we all love surprises. We all love doing something fun with our partner, or getting some gifts and surprises. So regardless if it's on Valentine's Day or on a birthday or whatever other reason, just for no day, no specific reason day, we all love little surprises. So before I get into the dating tips and love languages, I want to get a little bit, I don't know how you say that, sidetracked or off topic, and share a couple of thoughts that I had from my trip, because I just don't want to forget about it, and it's freshly in my mind. And even though this episode is not about this topic, but I feel it important to share it with you, because if it's helpful, then why not? And one of those things are that, when my sister got pregnant, and I was having a hard time accepting that I just can't be there. I can't help her. We talked about pregnancies and babies daily, and especially when you have a sibling or not a sister, or a friend, or somebody who's really close to you, and you're just kind of ahead in life, ahead of them. So like for me, I already had kids and had pregnancies and gave birth and had a little baby, or you already moved somewhere, or you already got married, and you feel like you have people who really rely on your opinion, or want to have your advice. So for me, it was really hard to be so far away from her and help her in the same time. So that's when I decided to surprise her and actually go there. It was a kind of a relief that, okay, now when I go there, we can talk about all of these things and help her and bring her a bunch of stuff. I had a whole luggage full of things for her and for the baby. So that just made me think that, when you make this decision to move to another country, or make a decision to move away from your family, this is definitely not something I thought that I would deal with, or that this is something I would feel when I had children and it was hard for my family. It was a completely different feeling. I felt guilty. I felt sad. I felt that I need to make it up for my parents who became grandparents somehow, to take my kids there, or to send them a lot of videos and pictures. But when it's reversed, when you are the one who can't be there where something is about to happen, some important life thing, then it's also a sad and a bad thing, but in a different way. And that's something new for me that now I know I had to live through. And I also have to say that thankfully it was for a joyful moment, for a good reason, because also it can happen that you have to rush home or go back to see your family for some sad event, somebody passing away, somebody getting sick, some accident happened, you don't really want to think about these things, but when it happens with somebody, or when you hear a story, then it all of a sudden hits you that what am I going to do if this happens with me or with my family? So I'm also grateful for my life, the stage in my life that I am now, that I am able to make this decision and just go, that I don't have financial or work obligations or financial difficulties that wouldn't allow me to do that. And if you can think about this ahead of time, if I can give you this advice to have a little saving if something happens that you feel like I just need to go home right now, to have that ability and not to affect your life too much. Also I'm thankful for my husband and my daughter who were able to survive these 2 weeks without me. This was the first time I left my daughter behind, and it was really hard, but it was honestly easier than I thought it would be. I stressed about it so much before I left. And once I was there, my mind and my thoughts just shifted, and I was so busy that I didn't really have time to think about and worry about my daughter. Same with my husband. I think it's always easier for the person who leaves than a person who stays at home to have the missing and the different lifestyle, or not a lifestyle, but just have somebody not being home for so long. So anyway, these are kind of the thoughts that I had and feelings that I had, that I just if you haven't experienced if you have experienced this, then you're probably just nodding your head and like, oh yeah, I know this feeling. But if you haven't, I think you're probably going to. So being prepared and just knowing what to expect is better. So I think I am done talking about my trip. But anyway, if you want to contribute to this topic, or you feel like you want to tell me something, just join my Facebook group and we can continue this chat there. You just go to Facebook and find Getting Married Multiculturally, same name like this podcast where the group is, and then we can just chat there about this. So now let's talk about dating. And here I'm talking about not dating as you just met somebody and you guys are going out on a date. I am thinking about you dating your spouse, or you dating your fiance, or you're just in a serious relationship and you guys decide to go out or do something fun together. That's usually what dating means. And the reason we need to talk about this, because often, especially if you guys are together for years, we just don't feel like it's necessary for us to go out to dinner or go out to movie or on a trip, or because we're just home all day. We see each other every time. We live together. We have things to worry about and talk about, and you just realize that you haven't really had a relaxing, fun time with your spouse or with your partner anymore. So I don't think that just because you're with somebody from a different culture means that your dates are going to be different. Although if you have some cultural expectations or norms, for example, when is the first kiss appropriate? Should you hold your hands in public? When do you at what point do you count as a couple? When should you propose? And these kind of things. But I think that when we're talking about spending time together as a couple, as married couple, it's different. There's not much cultural difference at that point, I think. But if you feel differently, please let me know. So that's why I just want to talk as far as Valentine's Day go. a little bit of different traditions around the world, how they celebrate Valentine's Day. And then, as far as dating goes, I wanted to chat a little bit about love languages. And if you don't know what that is, I will explain it to you later. And it's mostly about how do we like to spend time together with our partner. Is spending time together or is giving gifts that makes us happy, because it's not the same. And I think that regardless what culture we're coming from, what makes us happy and what makes us feel loved is different for everybody, but it's not related to culture, I think. Also, I almost forgot, I have a special little gift for you guys at the end of this episode. So stay tuned, as they say. All right, now let's talk about different Valentine's Day ideas around the world. First of all, I'm going to start with America, USA. It's a huge holiday. All the restaurants, hotels are fully booked. Everybody is thinking about the best way to surprise their partner, what to buy, how much to buy, what to do. And so I think that this holiday is the biggest is in America. And we also, even in schools, kids would, it's not a requirement, but it would kind of be weird if you don't do it. So the teacher would send a list of all the kids' names to the parent, and then we would go to the store, and the stores always have these little tiny little gifts for the class where you buy a package of 10 or 20 things. It's usually chocolate, like some candy, erasers, little notebooks. I don't know. It's usually like school things or little stickers, tattoos, coloring books, and things like that. And then you just make a little package for each child, take it to the school, and give it to each of them. So essentially, your child will come home with as many gifts as much kids are in her class. So yep, it's interesting. Definitely it was interesting for me in the beginning. It still is, because to be completely honest with you, I feel like it's a waste of money and a waste of stuff. But seriously, it really is, because you end up with this stuff that you don't need. It's kind of like a goodie bag after birthday parties, or the little gifts that you give to your wedding guests at the end, just stuff that they don't need, and they're just gonna take it home and put it in a trash. So, if you do need to do something like that, it's always good to have something handmade or handwritten, or maybe a food that people can actually eat. I don't know. It's just a little bit weird for me. But I remember when I was younger, back in Hungary, I would get flowers, so that would be enough, or chocolate. So now it's a little bit more grandiose. I don't know what that word is. Oh my gosh, what am I even saying? All right, more coffee. So moving on to Hungary, as I already mentioned, it's pretty similar to America, just a little bit less pressure and less expectation. People are still giving chocolates and flowers to their partner, maybe writing a love letter to their secret crush or somebody they admired for a long time. It's a really good time to do it on Valentine's Day. And I just feel like it's a little bit less pressure, like you don't really have to do too big things. So I have a few other countries that I personally I'm not familiar with, but I found some information online, and I was just gonna read them for you if you're interested. For example, in Japan, it's only the woman who give presents, mainly chocolate, to men, because in the past, women were often too shy to openly express their love. So Valentine's Day was the perfect opportunity to express their feelings and let the men know how they feel. So I thought that was really interesting. In Latin American countries, Valentine's Day is known as Dia del Amor y la Amistad. I hope I'm saying this right. I'm sorry if I'm not. But it means day of love and friendship. And, this is kind of becoming same in other countries too, when you are not only celebrating your romantic relationship, but also your friendships that you have. I feel like that's kind of in Hungary too, at least when I was younger. I had friends who gave me flowers or chocolate, and it was just normal. It doesn't mean that they had a crush on me. So yeah, I think that's a very cool idea, and especially if you don't have a romantic relationship or if you don't have a partner, which I don't think that would be if you're listening this podcast, since it's for couples. But yeah, don't feel like you shouldn't listen this because you don't have anybody. I should be thankful that you are, because you're probably interested about the topics I'm sharing. So yeah, just if you don't have a partner, it is a good day for you to celebrate your friendships. So here are a couple more countries that are celebrating love, but not on Valentine's Day. So they have a love day, a Valentine's Day, sort of say, on different days. For example, in Brazil, they have Dia dos Namorados. I hope I'm saying this right. It literally means Lover's Day, and it's celebrated on June 12th. In Jewish traditions, is usually around August is the festival of love, and in China, Valentine's is celebrated on the 7th day of lunar month. And that's pretty much all I have collected for you guys. If I said something wrong, I apologize. I'm not familiar with these traditions, but I would love to know about it if you know more to share with me. Or if you have some other cultures, different Valentine's Day celebrations from different cultures, please let me know. I would love to know it. But now let's move on to love languages, which, if you never heard about it, actually let me find this book so I can show you if you're watching the video. Okay, so here is the book. It's from Gary Chapman, The 5 Love Language. It helps you understand how do you feel loved, or what's the way that your partner wants to be loved. It doesn't mean that if something comes out and you can't like other things. So it can be more than one, but it's usually 5, like it says, 5 love language. One of them is gift giving. So this is kind of obvious. If your partner gives you a gift, then you feel like he or she loves you. And it's pretty, I would say it's pretty simple and relevant to Valentine's Day. So if you know that your partner loves to get gifts, then that's what you need to do. You just buy something, make sure that it's meaningful. It's something that he or she would love and feel that, and when she or he gets this, will feel that that's how you express your love. And then the second one is quality time. It means that your partner likes to go places, do something together, just have a quality time together, make experiences instead of giving a tangible gift. That is one of my love languages. I feel loved if I get to spend time with my husband, more than if he would buy me flowers or chocolate. If he would plan a trip or plan something that I enjoy doing, I would feel like he really cares about me and he wants to express his love towards me. Third one is act of service. And as much as I don't want to admit it, this is also one of my love languages, because I just feel like it's so silly that so what act of service means is that your partner feels loved if you surprise them with cleaning the house, doing dishes, cooking, helping around something. And it just feels silly to me because I feel like, if you guys live together already, it feels like you should both contribute to the household, regardless of, not just saying it's you are the only one who cooks and cleans and I'm not doing anything around the house or this and that. And so for that reason, it feels silly for me that I feel loved, but that's just how it is. And that's just how us humans are. We have different priorities and different values in our life. So if my husband surprises me with the vacuuming or taking the car, I don't know, putting gas in a car or going grocery shopping, I feel like he really loves me. He really cares about me, and he really wants me to have more, I don't know, have more time to spend it in a different way and other than cleaning or whatever. So fourth one is touching. This is pretty obvious that, if hopefully you will get this either way on Valentine's Day. But just holding hands when walking, or putting, I'm not only talking about intimacy and sex, I'm also talking about if you are walking and then you hold your partner's hand, or if you guys are watching movies, you like to cuddle, or you like to hug each other when you're walking, or when you are talking to each other, you like holding hands. So just or you walk by your partner and you just kind of touch them in their back or something. It's makes them feel loved, makes them feel that you care about this person. So that's the touching. And then the last one is words of affirmation, and this one is my husband, and I am just so far away from this category, unfortunately. Which makes it really hard for me to use this love language towards my husband. I'm actually quite the opposite. I can be really sarcastic and mean sometimes, and I don't mean it in a way he takes it, because this is his love language. So when I'm trying to think about how to make him feel or express my love towards him, I need to think about, what am I gonna say? How am I gonna say that? Thank him about something he did, or telling him why I love him, or a compliment on his look, or anything like that. That's his love language. And even though it doesn't feel natural to me, this is the category I need to choose if I want to think about what should I do to, make him feel loved. Also, for example, that's my whole point with these love languages. Regardless if it's on Valentine's Day, or if it's just a date, or you're thinking about what should you do to surprise your partner, just you can go online and do this quiz. So once you found out what yours, and more importantly your partner's love language is, you can go from there and kind of find out what the date should be. How should you express your love? Not just on Valentine's Day, like I said, like that could be on any other days that you feel like that's something that you want to do something special. So I tried to collect a couple of ideas for some of these categories and love languages. So for example, for gift giving, try to make sure that you are giving something personal. So not just a box of chocolate, although box of chocolate is good. I'm not going to complain about it. That's good anytime, right? But if you want to try to think about putting more thought into it, make a photo album of the two of you, or try to give something that's more personal. That's not just something you took off the shelf, something that you put thought into it and made sure that the person's gonna love it for what it is. So what I'm trying to say, that even if it's but even if it's a gift, because I don't want to value this category just because it's not important to me. For example, if my husband would come home with a piece of beautiful necklace. And that's the other point. Like, doesn't mean just because you fall into one category, now the other ones you're not going to be happy about. Because if he comes home with a necklace, I will still love it and wear it and be so excited about it, but it wouldn't make me feel as much loved as other categories. Unfortunately, because that might be easier for him. I don't know. But anyway, still, if it's a gift giving, try to make it more personal. That would be my advice. And then also, I feel like with quality time, you have just a lot of options and ideas. Just try to think about what your partner is into, not what you are into it. So, obviously, or not obviously, but a lot of couples would just think about going out to dinner and movie, and that's a quality time. It is a quality time, but try to think about extending this idea and just make it a little bit different, because that's what you do most of the time when you go on a date, go to dinner and or watch a movie. So maybe you can find some, like, go out to dance or hiking, kayaking, skiing if you have it around your house, skiing opportunity, or swimming. You can also think some bigger idea, like going on air balloon, or maybe going on a trip. But it can also be just as simple as walking in a park or going on a smaller trip, like a road trip or something. So think about maybe playing some games, video games, for example. I don't like video games, but my husband loves them. So I know that when I play, if I wouldn't say when, because I rarely play them, but if I do, I know that it makes him happy. So I try to do it for that reason. Or for example, he loves hockey game. So if I go to the hockey game with him, it's a quality time spent together. I know that it's going to make him really happy, but also he knows that I am not really into it. So that would be my advice, that even though you are not much into this activity, to still do it and still give it as a gift to your partner, because they will see that how truly you love them, that even though you don't like it as much, you still are willing to do this and give them this quality time. But you can also just find something that both of you like. There's just so many opportunities these days. It doesn't have to be too complicated. I also found a couple ideas, like doing a photo shoot, doing like a couples massage, going to the zoo together. Maybe you are walking at the park all the time, every day together with the dog, or running in the park. But maybe just go to the zoo and take a walk there, and that would be a little bit different, but still something you guys like to do together. Or I really like this idea that I found, volunteering together. So find some organization, sign up and go there and do a volunteer together. And I feel like that would be a really good opportunity to have this bond and give together to a better cause. And what else do we have? Act of service. I think that's pretty obvious and easy, to like clean the house or do dishes, or maybe bring breakfast in bed. That's also a good way of using this love language. Maybe you guys can do like a house project together, like we are doing right now for months now, and it's becoming really hard to manage the clean house and keep everything organized. But we are painting and doing a bunch of things in our house, renovating it. So when we are trying to do that together, it's a quality time for us. Like, we're painting the house and then we're just doing that together, and we're talking, or we're just like messing around, or it's a good opportunity to do something together. And maybe you can make like furnitures together, or whatever, however crafty you feel like. Okay, so word of affirmation can be maybe sending some love texts or poem, or little text messages throughout the day to your partner, and that's a good way to use this category. So now I wanted to chat a little bit about the long distance relationship. So if you don't live with your partner yet, and it's Valentine's Day or not, it doesn't matter. You think about doing something special together or surprising your partner. I would start with thinking about what are you or what is your partner into. For example, are you guys watching movies together, playing video games, Skype calls all the time? These are mostly the things you would be doing with your partner when you guys are far from each other. And so if you think about, oh, we are playing video games all the time, and now we're trying to do this Valentine's Day specialty, and then now you are gonna play video games again, that's not gonna feel special because you do that all the time. We're watching movies, we do that all the time. We're not gonna do that on Valentine's Day too. So I collected a few ideas that maybe will help you, and even though Valentine's Day is over, maybe it will help you with some other occasions. First of all, you can think about sending something to your partner, surprising them with a gift. Flowers, chocolate. You can also do a dinner order, call a restaurant, order dinner, and make it shipped to their house. I really love that idea. You can write something, make some little quiz or love letter questions. You can send questions to each other that you answer to each other. That's also really cute. You can send open when letters. It's when you send it to your partner and they can only open it when they do something specific or feel a specific way. You can send homemade packages with your smell in it, with your clothing in it, something that they really love from your culture or whatever your specialties are. You can find games to play together, not video games if that's what you've been doing. I mean, if you never play video games together and you're in a long distance, maybe that would be something new and fun. So it's always just try to do something that's different and new and unusual. And maybe you will like it, maybe you won't. It doesn't matter. If it's something that you don't really like, then just don't do it anymore. You guys can cook together. That can also be arranged, with Skype or whatnot. You buy ingredients together. You can have bath together. Just bring your laptop to the bathroom. Just careful, don't let it drop in the water. I really love this idea to take online classes together. That's really cool. And I don't know how you would make it that you both of you can be online in the same time, but I'm sure there are some ways to do that. You can do Pinterest board together. I love this idea too, to just open up the board, share it with each other, and then just kind of start dreaming if you're planning moving in together, or what kind of house, what kind of furnitures do you like, what style do you like, about wedding, what kind of wedding do you dream of having. And it's a good conversation starter, and I think you can find a lot of cool stuff on Pinterest. You can make a crafts together, like do painting or some art project, and you just, again, you are there together with Skype, and you can do whatever. It doesn't have to be just watching movies, or you can do a surprise trip like I did for my sister. Just buy a ticket and don't tell your partner, and just surprise them for Valentine's Day. Maybe that's something you have done it already, or you're planning to do it anyway, but I wanted to add it to this category. All right, now let me share the little surprise gift that I have for you guys. When I was preparing for this episode, I was searching online and I discovered this really great and fun place that is it's a company that helps couples to keep their relationship exciting. They have dating advice, tips, ideas, and just overall helps couples to keep their relationship spicy, to keep their relationship exciting. They have relationship advice and also helping you find some cool things that you can do with your partner. And they are called Dating Divas. Tara, the owner, and all the women who work there are just so sweet, and they work really hard to help all the couples out there. And when I contacted them, actually, they before this episode, they told me that they want to send me this PDF that's called 7 Days of Love. It's a week-long guide where you can learn how your partner likes to be loved. It's really fun and they're really colorful, and I just love their brand. It just makes you want to do everything that they tell you to do and have fun with your partner. And they also send me a coupon code that you can use in their shop, in the Dating Divas store. You can get $5 off anything if you just use the code DIVAS5, DIVAS 5. All the links, and I will put them in my show notes, or you can find them on my blog. Specifically, the blog post for this episode is going to be on editvashadi.com/multicultural dash dating. I am glad that I'm doing this recording now because I just received a book that I ordered from them. It is a brand new product that they had. It's called Around the World in 12 Dates, Travel the World Together from Home. I'm showing it to those of you who are watching the video. It's a really thick notebook, and as you can see, it's very colorful. And it's basically, they have a bunch of countries in here. I'm going to see Australia, Germany, Japan, Mexico, Canada, Russia, Switzerland, Thailand, Argentina, Iceland, Madagascar, and Turkey. And so basically you can, your date is involved around this country, around this culture, about food. Obviously, you're going to try some food. You can do some activities, learn about that country and culture. I really love this. And when I saw that they have this, I absolutely had to have it. So it is not specifically for multicultural couples. It is for couples who like to learn more about the world and different countries and what people eat in different countries, and then they can taste that food or make it like recipes or do some activities that is relevant to that country and culture. I still think that this is really cute idea. And even, if you live with somebody who's from a different country, I'm assuming that you're interested about their culture, and maybe even more than just that one culture. If you want to expand your knowledge and your interest and make it in a fun way with your partner, this book is really fun. And seriously, I just got this today and I'm really excited to read it through. But anyway, they have a few other things there too. If you want to check them out, just go to datingdiva.com. And like I said, if you want to get $5 off of anything you purchase there, just type in the code DIVAS5. So thank you so much again for Tara for giving us this coupon, and also for the free PDF that's called 7 Days of Love. You can download it on my website, editvashadi.com/multicultural dating. All right, guys, this is all I had for you today. Sorry if this wasn't too cultural specific or too multicultural. I really tried to do that, but I think that these love languages are more fun to discover with each other. Although if you have some cultural specific habits, or the way you guys are dating each other and going out, spending time together, then would love if you would share it with me. Just go to community.editvashadi.com, and that will take you to my Facebook group that you can join, and we can continue our conversation there, so it's not just one-sided like it is now. All right, guys, before I sign out, let me share a little sneak peek of my next week's episode. It's an interview with my very first same sex couple, Avina and Alisa, who are coming to chat about their blended American Indian wedding. It was truly an amazing conversation that I never had before with anybody else, and I was just so moved by it and inspired by it, and they helped me understand that how difficult it is to celebrate love and to celebrate your future with the partner you chose if you have so many people around you who don't accept your marriage or who don't stand by you and don't support you. So, really, beside their romantic and beautiful, beautiful wedding that they had, and you can see some pictures too, um, they also shared all of the difficulties and heartbreaks that they had to face from some of their loved ones and the communities who didn't want to accept their relationship. So I am so thankful for them coming and openly sharing their story and being so vulnerable. Oh, I hate this word. I can never say it. Vulnerable. All right, I'm just going to cut this part out. Anyway, I'm just so thankful for Avina and Alisa for coming to my podcast and sharing their story and being so open about their relationship and sharing all the challenges that they had to face. And I honestly can't wait to share it with you guys. So I will talk to you next Friday. Sziasztok!